Hello, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Simply Saturday, where I get to show you a card that is fast and easy to make. My name is Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up and have been for over 30 years. And like most Saturdays, I'm bringing you another card that is fast and easy to make. Let's jump right in. I will be using some stamps from Notes and Totes. And I've got some in color paper. This is Petunia Pop, which, let's see, this is 2024 to 2026 paper. So this is coming up here in a little while of being a retiring color. And this is just the pack of designer series paper that comes in the in color colors, and it's very pretty. But mostly I wanted to show you how doesn't matter what paper you choose, even just a simple paper and also a monochromatic look, which is what I'm doing today. So I'm doing everything in Petunia Pop. I'm going to show you the same card two other ways at the end of this video. So it doesn't have to be a monochromatic look, but it really does work, and it kind of makes it fast and easy because you don't have to think a lot about what goes with what. Just pull your ink, your papers, and your embellishment of some sort in all the same color. We're going to do some scoring on our piece of cardstock, and we are starting with a typical card base size. This is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. I'm going to make 2 score lines on this. Our score lines are at 1 1/8. Pay no attention to my markers. Those are in here for a different project. So score at 1 1/8 and at 4 1/4. This simple little fun fold is quite clever. I like how it looks a lot. All right, we're just gonna fold that smaller fold back on itself, and then the card is folded at the 4 1/4, just like a typical card fold. Let's run the bone folder over that to get our nice crisp creases. And then let's talk about our paper. So I have 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 5 1/4. And I chose this little kind of whimsical dot print for that. And then I've got 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I chose this little kind of floral and leafy print. The stripe is on the back. All right, we're going to attach our pieces. I can do this with my liquid glue. Let's see if I've got one here that actually has some glue in it. Yep, we're in good shape. Sometimes you get down to the bitter end in one or more than one that you're using, and it starts to get a little tricky. You're trying to get the most out of it that you can. All right, this is going to go on the folded back flap, and I'm just gonna center it. You've got a little bit more white showing at the top and the bottom than you do on the sides. All right, that's in place. The other small strip is going to go here on the inside of the card. We can go ahead and attach that piece now. And it's going to go just a teeny bit away from the edges of the cards, not right up against the edge or the top or the bottom. All right, like so. One of the 2 larger pieces is going to go here on the front. We can just open that flap, and that way we can center this piece into that space. This card design was inspired by something that I saw briefly as I was flipping through. I typically go to Pinterest if I'm looking for a recipe idea. Of course, I get lots of recipe ideas from my daughters that get them on TikTok. But if I'm just starting from scratch and I need a recipe for something that I'm looking for, I go to Pinterest. So I happened to see a card that was similar in design to this, and I decided that I would create one that was an easy, fun fold for Simply Saturday, but that's where I got my inspiration. All right, and then this piece is gonna go here, which gives us a nice white space to either stamp, decorate, or write our message. So I think it's fun with all of the different sites that you can be poking around, or the social media channels, and it's amazing how inspired you can get with a design or with color combinations. So many ideas out there. And I'm old enough that I remember when that wasn't the case. I mean, you had to really either have a photo or a book of ideas. There was no just going online to randomly search for ideas or inspiration or how-to videos. Oh my goodness, I love how much is at our fingertips. Okay, we've got all of our pieces glued into place. Look at how cute that is. It's very easy. For this card, I decided to use Spotlight on Nature dies. So I chose 2 that would nest inside each other, and I got my Petunia Pop circle and my white circle. So on the circle, I'm going to stamp just a note, and this is from Notes and Totes, which is actually still available. I did quite a few videos over the summer using these products. Just a note. I was kind of glancing, seeing if I'm going to use any other images. I might use the speckle. I don't know. Let's get our words on and then see what it looks like. All right, of course, because I'm doing the one color or the monochromatic card, I am going to use Petunia Pop ink. And I haven't stamped with this today. In fact, it's been a while since I stamped with this stamp set at all. So I am going to do a practice stamp just to remind myself how it comes out. Is my ink pad equally inked, or do I have a dry spot? Sometimes it's worth just taking 1 or 2 practice swings before you stamp on your project. All right, so I think what I am deciding as I'm looking at this, I'm going to go ahead and stamp in the center. I'm not going to add any more stamped images. Truly fast and easy. We're just going to add some embellishments, and that will finish our card off for today. Let's get this circle centered inside my Petunia Pop circle, like so. Cute. All right, we are going to go with a knot. We're not even going to tie a bow today. And this is the Petunia Pop. It doesn't say it on the spool, but it's iridescent. There's a regular Petunia Pop ribbon, and then there's this one that has kind of that shine to it. We're going to take just a few. You only need about 4 inches if you're going to tie a knot and not a ribbon, not a bow. So I'm going to take my, oh, this ties really nicely. I like it a lot. I've used this quite a bit. I think I used this during Halloween quite a bit with the colors of Halloween, the purple, the black, the green. All right, let's trim the tails. Let's see, that one went that way. I want this one to go this way. I need to get a better hold of this. Good gravy. How about some better scissors? Maybe those are getting a little dull. Well, that was better. All right, so we've got our knot. Look, friends, the hardest part of the card is cutting the tail off of your ribbon knot. All right, I think that this is going to go right there at a little bit of an angle. Let's go ahead and put that on. I need a glue dot, and those are out of reach. Let's see if I have another box here in my back stock. If I'm stamping and recording on a day that I'm also having in-person classes, sometimes my materials are spread out. All right, so this is going to get stuck to my mini glue dot and added. And then I already know that there's some cute embellishments. One of two different ones should look. Let's take a look at Tinsel Gems 3-pack. It's kind of a pinky petunia poppy color in there. That looks really good. And there's also the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. This color is a teeny bit different. I think that one actually works better. I was expecting this one to be the winner, but Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And I'm gonna pull 3 of these. Let's go. All right, let's do one down there. I wasn't gonna put it below the knot, and at the last second, I changed my mind. All right, 3 of these cute little gems. And then we can attach our circle. There we go. Just enough decoration that it doesn't look forgotten. And let's go ahead and attach it to our card. Now we want to be careful that we don't accidentally glue the whole thing shut. So no adhesive over here. Only adhesive. Oh, that was one little piece was hanging from the die cut. No adhesive on this edge, only adhesive over here. And it's up to you. Okay, now note, if you put adhesive all the way on the back of this, it's going to seal this edge down, and then your card will only open like this, which is fine. Okay, that's adorable. If we attach our circle only to this flap, like this, then it will open like this. So you can decide which way you want that to look and determine where your adhesive goes by that placement. So I am going to choose to only attach it here. And it's such a large circle, I can even do this kind of eyeballing it. I know some adhesive needs to go right around here. And that's going to be great. Or you could put your adhesive on the back of the circle. All right, making sure my words look straight to me and seeing if I can have this space and this space about equal, and let's go for it. All right, so as I mentioned, I did not put any adhesive here, so it's not sealing my card in this manner. Instead, I only attached it to here, and so now you can open the card like this. Totally up to you. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave this open for some lovely messages that I might want to write in there. And then I think what I would probably do is add a scrap of this same designer series paper to the envelope to tie it together. Since we didn't use any other stamped images, that's probably how I would finish my envelope. There is our fast and easy card. Let me show you the other 2 that are the same design, but with different decorations and colors. All right, I pulled out my terrific toadstools, which surprisingly is also still available. The stamps and the punch are still available. Now, the paper is not, so you have to get creative and use some different paper. I still had some of the coordinating paper left in my stash, and this time, look how cute that is with the pink toadstool and that adorable paper. And then here's another one. This was with the December product of the month paper, these beautiful blues papers. And then a hope you're feeling better soon message. And this is what that looks like when you open and close it. So there's 3 very, very different looks, all with the same layout. And I thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see and hear what you're going to make after today's inspiration. Do leave me a comment. I can't wait to hear from you. Bye.